Hi, it's me again, Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be showing you around this 2017 Auto Trail Dakota Handover. Behind the driver's side you've got your locker, and this is also where your leisure batteries and hookup live. So instead of gripping here, if you just put your foot underneath it, assist it up and lift, and then you'll find your two leisure batteries, your main fuses for your leisure batteries, and your hookup point. So when you arrive at site or you want to hook the vehicle up for charging, if you lift the collar back and slide it onto here, you hear it, and then this is hooked up, and then you can shut this down, put the wire through there and lock it. But this is also a good space for your hookup lead, your leveling ramps and so on. Should they be wet, in here is good storage. You'll also notice you've got your waste water, so this is from the holding tank, so everything you put down a plug hole ends up in here. So what you do is you drive over a grid on the way out of a site, turn the lever, and it will deposit your waste water. In the winter it's crucial that you don't have any water on board, so you'd want the waste water completely drained as well as the fresh and the boil out, which I'll show you. Above here you have a locker which opens with the small key, round key. This is just some more storage space. You've got an external shower, so you put the bullfinch fitting in here, and on the other end you'll have a trigger gun, and you can turn it from off to hot or to the temperature suited for the dogs, the bikes, the boots, the kids, the wellies. It's great for hosing off if you've been on the beach, but you must have the pump on inside to operate the external water shower. You've got your fresh water filling point, so you put a hose pipe into here until it overflows if you want a full tank, or you can see inside the levels it goes up in. It'll go up in increments: 25, 50, 75, 100. If you are travelling, just put about 20 litres of water on board. If you are wild camping, then you will have to take a full tank, but if you're going to a site, just 20 litres, as this will give you the option to stop for a toilet or a cup of tea. Below you do have your fresh water drain, so you filled it up there. You want to drain it off, you don't want to carry the excess weight, or it comes to the winter, the end of the season, and you want to completely drain the van of water. Or you might have taken on contaminated water, you just open there, this will drain your fresh water tank. Above you've got the toilet, so you do your business in there, your business ends up in here. So if you lift the handle, you'll be able to get the cassette out. You've got some wheels there, so you can drag it along the floor should it be full. And empty, go to your waste disposal point, which is normally beside or behind the toilet block. Take the cover off, the little cap, press this button here, it allows air in, stops it glugging in, gives it a consistent flow. Tip it out. Once you have tipped it out, there's normally a tap, put some water in, give it a rinse, tip out again, and then if you are using the chemical in the liquid form, a cap full of liquid into here, and then you can put it back in the van and it's ready to use. If you're using the tablet form, which is the new form of chemical, which are in a cellophane bowl like a dishwasher tablet, you put a pint of water into here, push it back into the vehicle and drop a cellophane tablet straight down the toilet into here, and it breaks up into the liquid, and that should last for about 60 days. At the back of the van you have your high level brake light and your reversing camera, and then behind this cover here, so if you put this on here, you can take this cover off, and behind there's a big nut, and then this acrylic cover lift off, and that will reveal your full spare wheel. And then you do have your tow bar here. And then to the passenger side, you have your external gas point, so this will run off the main bottles. So you'll get a bullfinch connection here. You'll need some orange gas hosing and a Jubilee clip to clip the hose to the connector, and then you can connect it with a Jubilee clip to your Cadillac or your external barbecue, and it will power off the main gas on board. Underneath here you've got all your carpets, your own unwinding handle, and this is under your storage underneath your bed. But the main thing is this little tap here, which is your winter drain tap. So in the winter it is crucial you leave no water on board, as water freezes and can crack pipes, tanks, and can really ruin the boiler and mean it's broken, and basically it's very expensive to repair. So this tap allows the boiler to hold 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter you do not want the water to be held on board, as if it freezes it can break the boiler. So what you do is you lift this tap up here, and then if you look directly underneath you'll see the water coming out. This will drain the 10 litres of water off, so leave it standing up in the winter, and when it's holding water it'll be in this position like it is now. So stand it up like so and leave it in that position when you stop using the van, and this will stop any water from freezing. And when you do come to reuse the van, lie the tap down, fill it up with water, go to the cold side of the tap first. You'll automatically get cold water. Go to the hot side, it'll cough, splutter, it'll make all sorts of noises, and what that's doing is it's pulling the water from the main tank into the boiler until you get a steady flow on one tap, and then you would do them all, and then your system would be primed. You've got your flue here for your boiler, so this just allows the nasties out, so just make sure that is obstruction free. You've got your awning, you've got your fridge vents, and then in here, so you've got LPG, this is your gas locker, LPG, liquid petroleum gas. And to open this, there is a lever just behind the passenger seat, so if you lift that up like so, you can now pull this up and you can fit 2 6-kilogram gas bottles in here. And what you do is, once you've got your bottles on board, you would tie them in when in transit to stop them moving around. And to connect the pigtail to the bottle, it's a left-hand thread, and then you'll need a gas spanner, and you just nip it up, or adjustable spanner. Turn on at the top of the bottle, just do one full turn at the top, because if there was an emergency, one full turn off is far safer than several, and you can isolate the gas a lot quicker. Press this button for 3 seconds once you turn the gas on, and it allows the gas through the regulator, through the crash valve here, and into the motorhome. On the passenger door you do have the diesel, so this opens with the main ignition key, and then you can fill the van with fuel, which is diesel. And then you've got your tyre pressure, so the 5.5 bar all round, or 79.5 psi front and rear. Underneath your driver's seat you do have a toolkit, so this will slide out, and it's got a jackknip racing, a tone eye and a screwdriver. And then underneath the floor, so this panel lifts up and it gives you access to the engine battery, so should you ever need to change the engine battery, this is how you would access it. And then you've got a jumping point just underneath there. And if you come underneath the bonnet, so you've got your weight plate here, which you always go off the Auto Trail one, because this is the third conversion. But you have got, with it being a Frontier, it is on an Alco, so it's 4.5 ton gross vehicle weight. If you were to tow anything with that tow bar, you can tow up to a train weight of 6 tons, so you can tow an extra 1,500 kilograms behind you. You've got your paint code for your Grigio colour there. And then this cover lifts off, it'll give you access to your radiator fluid and power steering fluid. You've got your brake fluid there, screen wash, which is the main one you're going to need when touring, oil filler and dipsticks for checking your levels. And then should you ever need to jump start the vehicle, give or receive, or put a charger on, this is your earth. And then this cover might be down, so you'll have to put a key or a screwdriver in the side there and pull it up. And then you have got your positive for your red clip for your jump start or your charger. Once on board the vehicle, this is your main 12 volt control panel. So to put power on, you've got the on button in the top corner there. So if you just click that, you then have 4 other buttons. So you've got your pump, so this surfaces your tap in the kitchen, the hand basin, your toilet, shower and your exterior shower. So you must have that on when you are wanting to use water. You've got this transfer button here, which I wouldn't put on, as this will change the motorhome battery to the engine battery, which means you would then be running the motorhome off the engine battery, and I wouldn't advise that, as it'll flatten the battery on the fade side, and then you would require either a jump start or someone coming to rescue you. You've got your awning lights here, so this is the light on the outside of the vehicle, and then this is, if you scroll through, so that is the make of your control panel. You've got your event timer, so you can put a timer on, so set your timer like so. You can set an alarm, so should you be catching a ferry, this will start beeping at this time to wake you up. So that's how you would set it, by going into it there. Change your time, so you'd go in and change the time, which is displayed on the control panel. Your tank heaters, to turn them on, press there. So if it was going to be a cold night in the winter time, you can put your tank heaters on, and this puts power through your, puts a current through your water to stop it freezing. Your external temperature, your solar, which is the current coming to the vehicle, which is 0 because we're hooked up at the moment, and that takes that is the bigger voltage coming on board, so then the solar will go to sleep. You've got the current coming off the leisure battery. Your wastewater is empty and your fresh water is 75% full. Your vehicle battery is 14.4 volts and your leisure battery is 14.4 volts. And then moving across to your Truma Combi display. So to press and wake this panel up, if it's off, just press and hold until you get that screen, and then enter, press OK. So you've got your van with the thermometer in. This is the temperature, so you can go all the way to 30 degrees or all the way to off. So for this we'll just say 25, and then you'd press the wheel once, and then this is preset the heating to 25 degrees. Moving along, you've got the thermometer and the water, which is your water. So you've got off, so if you didn't have any water on board, don't put the water on, because you'll just fry the element out in the boiler. You've got 40 or you've got 60 degrees of water, or you've got boost, which will prioritize your water to your heating. So for this we'll just say 60 degrees of water. Press, that's preset your water to 60 degrees. And then moving along, you've got your gas bottle and electricity. So this is a source you are using off. So if you are wild camping, you would just have to use gas on its own. So this would be heating your van on gas and your water. You've got a mix 1, which is a 1 kilowatt of electric and gas. You've got mix 2, which is 2 kilowatts of electric and gas, which you'd normally use in the winter should you want to give your heating a boost and boost the van heat up time and water. And then if you are on a smaller site, you'd use electric 1, which is electric on 1 kilowatt, or you can use electric on 2. So if you've paid your site fees and you're on a camping caravan and site in the UK, you can use 2 kilowatts of electric, and you wouldn't want to waste your gas. Moving along, you've got your fan. So this is a 12 volt assisted fan, so you'd use eco if you were wild camping, as this doesn't take a higher source of 12 volt. Or you've got high, which will blow it round the van. So eco will still blow it round the van, but it'll do it very on a lower source of 12 volt, whereas this will take 12 volt source and blow it round the van. So you'd normally use high when you were hooked up. Coming down to the bottom, you've got a timer here, so you can time the heating to come on and off once. So if you are getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, you might want the heating to come on at 6. You can set that. You've got the clock that displays on here, the time. And then should you get a warning triangle here, which means something's failed, you can go to the spanner in the corner there and turn it down to reset, and press and hold, and it'll reset your boiler. So in your kitchen area, you've got 3 gas rings, and one 240 here, so only when hooked up you'll have your hot plate. But if you've had any of these hot plates on, or the gas burners, allow it to cool before you put the glass lid down. Below you do have your grill, which lights like so, and then allow the thermocouple to get warm before you let the gas knob out on the front of the cooker. And then below your oven, which lights like so. Take your oven shelves and grill pan out when you're travelling, as this can cause the most noise. Underneath here you do have your oven 240 isolator for your electric hot plate, and you've got your gas taps over here. So these are your gas taps. So any problems with gas, off at the top of the bottle, but should you need the gas, i.e. you're wild camping and don't want to ruin your holiday, you can isolate each appliance. So you've got your oven, you've got your external barbecue point, you've got your hot water and boiler, and you've got your fridge. But these are mainly for when the vehicle is serviced. A habitation technician will test that the gas is working accordingly. And then you've got your storage, so your grill pan's in there, storage, cutlery drawer, and your main container above. So to store this away when travelling, this just slides into here and clicks away nicely underneath the microwave. The microwave is only on 240 volts, so only when hooked up and you press equal to wake the microwave up, and then it will work like a normal microwave. It is 800 watt. And in here is the plug to isolate it, or should you ever need to replace it, you can isolate it there, slide the plug through and take the microwave out. And in here you've got your cups, plates and bowl racks, and this is just your drainer which can sit in the sink. And then to operate your Dometic fridge, so your Dometic fridge to operate, so to turn on and off, you just press this button here, it'll then come on. It's automatically on automatic, and it's found that we are hooked up, so it's gone to 230 volt. If I was to take the hookup out now, it would go to gas if the gas was open, and if we were to start the engine it would go to the 12 volt feed from the alternator. But you can manually override, so they have manually overridden and put onto gas, and you can hear it clicking until it isolates. And then there I have put it onto 12 volt, and it's failed because the engine is off and we are stationary. But should it be on automatic, it is programmed to wait 20 minutes before lighting on gas, because it's the last thing you want to do is light on gas when you are in a filling station. And then here you have the temperature, but the 12 volt setting is just for, so the idea here is you pre-cool the fridge on either gas or electric. So if you're lucky enough to keep this at home, or you've got hookup at your storage yard, if you put it on hookup the night before, fill it with your shopping, and then when you are, and let it cool, and then when you are ready to drive the next day, if you put on to 12 volt, it will keep the temperature at the same it was when departing. And then part of your winterizing process, if you clean your fridge out, the last thing you want to do is shut the door and trap all that air in, because it's going to go mold and moisty and smelly. So if you just push this in and slide this forward, it will stop the door from closing and allow air circulation around the fridge. And underneath you've got your freezer drawer, and this is a great one for your pans in your pan drawer. So that one is cooled by the fridge, so you can stand things up there. It's like a refrigerator drawer. And in here you have your your freezer compartment, which is removable should you need the extra space. It tells you there how to remove. So now in your rear washroom, to operate your toilet, if you press and hold here, this is your pump, but the fan will kick in. So to stop the fan, just press it and then that'll cut the fan out. If you press it now, this is now your flush, like so. And then to deposit your waste into the cassette, if you use your slide or your trapdoor as it's known as, and slide it to the right, it will open the cassette door and allow it into the cassette. If this is open like so, you'll not be able to get the cassette out the exterior of the vehicle. It must be shut to allow the cassette to come out, and then this will go red when it is required to be emptied and replenished with chemical. You've also got all your toiletry cabinet in there. You've got a bit of storage here, toilet roll, more storage, and your rear shower cubicle, which is huge, which has a hanging rail for wet towels, but this is a great place if you get caught in the rain. You can hang your coats up there and allow them to drip dry. And then your shower screens, make sure that the turnbuckle's turned when travelling, and then turn that and shut when you're showering. And operate your skylight. So if you just press this and pull it along, what you can put into the grooves should it be a nice day and you want a nice breeze. And then you do have a fly screen and a blackout blind. And in the overhead locker above your travelling seats behind the drivers is your power supply unit, your sergeant unit. So in here you must have all these switched on to operate your charger, your space heater and your water heater on mains electric, so just forget about them and leave them as they are. You've got your main RCDs and MCBs and your trip tester. So should a hairdryer or kettle blow the fuse or the trips, check here before you check your site where you've hooked up. And then here you've got your main 12-volt fuses, which is all listed on here. So it would be a good idea to go and buy some spare blade fuses and keep them just in case one does go. You can replenish them and change it, fix your problem. Got your build number here, so if you quote that number when needing parts, we'll quote the Auto Trail and we'll know what your vehicle is, what specification and when it was built and what parts required for your vehicle. And you've got a 12-volt USB for charging your smart device. Operate the large skylight above the cab. So if you just press the toggles in, turn legs, and then you have a winding handle here. And wind it up. Make sure it is closed when travelling. It isn't meant to be open when travelling. No skylights and windows must be open. They must be closed because it's just plastic and a strong wind will just rip it off the vehicle. I've got a fly screen and a blackout blind. And then to operate the lights in the car above the looting area, with this being a high line, just press like so. To make your bed up in the high line, pull this forward and turn the mattress over. You can put the bar through here and clip it on either side to stop people rolling out of bed, and the ladder will clip on here like so. So when making the bed up, you'll want this boom arm table out the way. So there's a lever on the bottom, so if you loosen the lever, you'll then be able to pivot the tabletop right the way around and store it behind the cab seat, or you can take this out. It's entirely up to yourselves. You'll then lift these two cushions out, and this section will just slide forward and lift out, and you can store that where you store the table. You'll get the table out the table store away, which is just by the fridge. Lift that out and then use the top as the base. So you lift it up and slide it on the two sliding rails, so one on top of the wood and down there, and this one on the side of the seat, allow that to sit like so. Slide this bit out to here and allow the backrest into like so. And then you'd use your infill cushions, so your front and your back into there like so, and you've made your small, your large single, sorry. What I'd advise is you turn them all upside down to the flat side of the cushion, because it's far nicer to sleep on. You fit a fitted sheet onto there and it is better than sleeping on all the ridges. So in your cab to the right of the driver, you've got your handbrake, you've got your drop down electric windows, driver and passenger, and you've got your joystick here which you can change to each mirror, so you've got the top and the blind spot which are both adjustable. Got your headlight adjustment and your rear fogs. Got your trip computer on the side of your wiper stalk, so that'll tell you your miles per gallon, your range, your instant miles per gallon, your average speed, your average travelling times and so on. Got your hands-free kit, and this will scroll through your contacts and radio channels, volume, you've got voice command and you have mute. You've also got down here cruise and speed limiter, and you do have your lights and wipers, lights and indicators on here. This is a Comfortmatic gearbox, so you've got neutral at the top, reverse all the way down, and then you go along to automatic. But if it goes into like so, it's gone in, if I just show you here, it's gone into 1 there, which means it's in manual mode. But if I tap the gear stick to me left again in the same position, it goes to auto 1, which means it's in automatic. But then you can, so that'll be manual, that's auto, and then you can go up and down the gears should you need to manually interact. You've got traction control off, hill descent control, with it being an automatic. This will just slow the vehicle down, so it's hill descent controls like an exhaust brake. Hazards, this locks the habitation door and the cab door, and it'll take the step in. Heated mirrors, auxiliary and USB for the head unit, so that's for your media, USB for charging, and a 12 volt. Temperature and fan speed must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work. And you've got your distribution, so this is where you want the air to go, and your circulation, either recirculating the air or bringing fresh air in. And then on the head unit itself, so if you turn it on, you've got AM, FM and DAB on the radio. You've got media, which is either CD, USB or auxiliary. You've got navigation. So with the navigation, one thing I would suggest is that you don't put your home address in. You put an address near the house in, because if someone steals your motorhome, they know where you live. You've got your phone, so connect your phone, go to settings, add a device, and find Uconnect and make sure the pins match. It will then ask you if you want to pair your contacts. Press yes and it'll download your phone book. And then above, you can use this as a phone holder, so you can put your phone in here like so, and then that's the phone locked in, and then or a sat nav holder. And then on the driver's side and passenger side, you've got your all the way Remy blinds. And then you've got the same on the windscreen. So if it's going to be a windy, blustery night, the tip is to put elastic band or bubble around here, because it's just a magnetic strip, and if the van is ever so slightly moving, these might ping open.